$100 an hour for this. But I'm going to give it to y'all free. Alright? Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Alright. I'm going to, with Nick, he usually have different translations that I can tell him to read that. Romans 12:2, you know, I mean, it's for me. Somebody, does anybody have an NIV?
I do.
Read the NIV, Romans 12:2.
Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God.
12:2?
No, I'm sorry. I'm reading.
12:2.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world.
And that's what I need. Wait a minute. What you say, Sister Barbara? I thought she had a new Bible. Wait, Lord. Okay, who? Sister Barbara, go ahead. What did it say?
Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will.
Okay, that's the NIV. Do not conform to the, what did he say, a pattern?
The pattern of this world.
Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world. That's good. That's real good. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to, what you say, test?
Test and approve what God
Test and approve what's good. Anybody got a New Living Translation? New Living Translation.
I have.
All right, read that.
Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world.
What? Don't copy the behaviors and the custom of the world. What else?
But let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think.
Oh! Let God transform you into what? Wait. Let God transform who?
You.
You! Until what you say, Sister Barbara?
A new person by changing the way you think.
Man, by changing the way you think. What else? What the end part say?
Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect.
Okay, y'all ain't caught on yet. Y'all ain't caught on yet. You can really close the Bible because I'm gonna deal with all of us tonight. That's why I said I'm gonna give y'all something. I told y'all Sunday y'all thought I was gonna have something to speak. Now I'm gonna give you something that dropped in my spirit Sunday morning. You can close the Bible up because you know that Romans 12:2. We know we not conform to the world. We know that. I want to make an announcement to you, and I want you to get this in your spirit, and from this day forward, remember this the rest of your life. Because this is going to help you. First of all, you can't work on nobody else until you work on you. That's why I had you to read that in different translations, so you can know that Paul is talking to you. He ain't talking to me, he's talking to you. Alright? And I think that last translation Sister Parker read says, what? So read that one more time. Oh, you put it down. I'm sorry.
Put my Bible up.
Oh, I thought you had it on. Oh, you electronic. My bad. I'm sorry.
Which part?
The New Living.
The New Living. Read all of it if you want to.
The whole.
Yeah.
Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect.
So if our way of thinking is right, why do we need to change? Ooh, Lord. Huh? Oh, it's right in our eyes. Get this in your spirit right here. This dropped on me like a ton of bricks. People will never be who you want them to be. Get that in your spirit now. Come on, say it with me. People will never be who you want them to be. Say it again.
People will never be who you want them to be.
So why are we trying to make people be who we want them to be?
Wow.
Instead of asking God to make us.
Who he wants us to be. Wow.
I'm through. That's it. You can turn the tape off. That's all I got to say. Because at the end of the day, if you always trying to fix somebody else, see, that's the problem I got with Ayana. Fix my life. I mean, you fix other folks like how your life look.
Right. Messed up.
Oh, I had to pick up the pieces. Okay, well, yeah, okay, all right. Well, and I'm not saying, please don't think that I'm saying that people that have not been through some cannot help. And I'm not saying that. Please don't leave here saying I'm not being judgmental. But what I am saying is that you must understand that people will be who they want to be, and they will think the way that they want to think, and you can't get people to be who you want them to be until God transforms their thinking. God got to do that. We can't do it. You, as much as you want somebody to change, God has to be the one to prick their heart and to change them. And guess what? They got to be acceptable to the change. See, some folks don't want to change simply because they just don't want to change. They just ain't ready. They ain't going to do right. They don't want to do right. All right? And so we'll spend a whole lot of energy worrying about trying to get people to be who we want them to be. They ain't going to see it like you see it. They ain't going to love it like you love it. Because everybody is not at the same level.
Wow.
And what we try to do is try to drag people to our level when they ain't even ready. And what you will do, if you put too much food in a person that they are not ready for, what they going to do? Throw it back up. But if you give them
just a little bit at a time.
Little bit by little bit. All right. And so we gotta understand that people will never be who we want them to be. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because let's be honest. Just be very honest with yourself. You don't have to raise your hand. I know you got it all together. I know you saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, going on to heaven anyhow, and you know that without a shadow of a doubt. But let's tell the truth. Are you who you need to be? Well, how the hell you want everybody else to be? If you're not who you need to be, then why you want everybody else to be something? Watch this. Do not hold people to a standard that you're not willing to hold your own self to. And that's what we do. Here is the thing. Get it in your mind. They ain't gonna listen because we all are different. We all have to say, listen, that's Tania's mama. She got two other brothers and 2 other sisters. I know all of them, and all of them different. But they got the same mama. Raised by the same person. Because we have different minds. We think differently. All right? And so the attitude that Tania has about some things in life, Jennifer don't have it. And she cannot make Jennifer have her attitude because she is not Jennifer. Y'all. And so what we do, we have ABAs. All right? Remember that. Attitude, values, and assumptions. That's what we do. Attitude and values. So because we like this, we just assume or we just think that everybody is like us. That's your attitude. But that might not necessarily be the value of the person that you're putting that on. And so what we do is, watch this. Paul says we got to be changed, we got to be transformed by the renewal of our mind. We shouldn't think like the world thinks. That's why I said, listen, it's not last week when I had trouble with the insurance company. It wasn't that I knew the policy and I knew what was in black and white, but I refused to accept what she was telling me. And some of y'all just accept whatever somebody dish out. I put in my nose, it's going to get quiet right now. So let's deal with this. Let's deal with attitude number one. Let's deal with this. Because attitudes are just what they are. Some days you have good attitude, some days you don't. You just got to know. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, some days you all right with folk, and some days you want folk to leave you alone. Some days your attitude is pleasant, some days it's stank. It just depends on what kind of day you have. What's going on? Stuff might be going on at work, stuff might be going on at home. But what I'm telling you is, it is unfair to individuals that when life happens to you, and it happens to all of us, for us to try to because we can't say nothing at home, because we frustrated at home, then we just the first person that we can unload on, we just unload on. That ain't right. We shouldn't act like the world. Our mind should be different. We should process things different. And the problem with the church is we have people that have tried to make people be who they want them to be, instead of letting people be who they are. And watch this, and understand that we are all not on the same level, and help individuals see themselves. Help individuals change their own thought pattern, not make them just like us, but help them to look at things from a different set of lens. And a lot of people don't want to, because here's the thing. If I stand up and if I ask all y'all to stand up and say, tell me some of your good qualities. What's good about you? Why folk like you? You can rattle them off. You can rattle them off left and right. Oh yeah, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Then I say, tell me about your weaknesses. My weakness, I really don't have no weakness. The devil is a lie. You got a weakness. All right? And so, because we highlight our good stuff and we suppress our bad stuff, and that's the stuff that we need to work on. And so that's why I want us to think about this tonight. And really, this lesson is not about you. It's not about, it's about all of us. It ain't about your neighbor. This is about you. This is about your attitude, your values, your assumption of how, watch this, I found out just today, there are people that are angry because they have looked at somebody else's life and say, we around about the same age and all to have what they have. But you don't know what they've been through to get what they got. See, I done told folk to quit trying to keep up with folk, quit trying to look at what somebody else got. Say, well, I'm the same age, and we got the same amount of children. I ought to be guilty. Listen. Man told me today, I went to see one of my patients. He's 60-something years. No, is he 60-something years? Yeah, 60-something years old. He paralyzed, and so I was talking to him, and so I was expecting him. He's in the hospital, get a procedure done. So he's been paralyzed all his life. He was born with spinal bifida. And so he asked me, did I know about spinal bifida? I said, yeah, I know something about it. And he said, well, I've never been able to walk. He said, but life don't owe me nothing. I've been to the woods. I go hunting, and my friends even carry me on their back. Wow. I said, man, how this man happy can't even walk? And some of us can walk, and we ain't happy about nothing. Then he told me, he said, well, I got a friend that had a bad motorcycle accident, and he's paralyzed from the neck down, and so he's about my age. And then he said the most amazing thing to me. He said, I'd rather not be. No, how do you say? He said, I'd rather not be able to walk how you say it? Let me see. Hold on. I saw a lot of people. He said that I'm blessed. Even though I can't walk, I will take not walking over not seeing. So he said, even though life has dealt me this hand, I'm gonna choose to look at it in a positive way. It could be worse. I could be crippled and can't see, but at least I can see. All right. And so what we do, we judge ourselves by what other people are doing, and we have this assumption about, we have this attitude about, oh, you know, they got it going on. Everybody that you think got it going on, they got it going on. That's your assumption. Matter of fact, a whole lot of folks know how to act too. You know, folk do wear tags up under their clothes when they come in here showing. I'm just saying, I've seen some. I'm just gonna tell you. I mean, they be sharp as tack, but they gonna take it back Monday morning. That's an illusion. And so you got to be careful of looking at other people and looking at other things and say, oh yeah, you know, they got it going. It look like they got it going on. So I want to be like that. No, it may not be like that. Then I found out, not only, you know, we have attitude, but I found out, let's talk about value for a minute, because there ought to be some things that we just don't do. Now, I go a whole lot of places, but it's just certain stuff it ain't got nothing to do with me being no preacher, it ain't got nothing to do with me being no Christian, it just got something to do with me being a person. That there are some places that I just refuse to go. But you gotta have value about yourself if you call yourself a Christian. You ought to have something. Everything you ain't got to go to. And then I hear some of y'all think, but we got to have balance. Yeah, you got to have balance, but you got to have sense with your balance. All right? Now, whether I drink or smoke or whatever I do, if I do that, if I go to the casino, if I gamble, I don't need to be down there at the frontier doing it. Because I'm going to see some of y'all. If I value who I am, chances are, if gambling is my thing, I may need to go a little further. I need to go to Mississippi. Still don't go down there because some of y'all got it. I still can't go. Yeah, because you don't know who you're going to see. All right, so what am I saying? We got to have some type of value to who we say we are. If you say you're a Christian, you ought to have some kind of value. I ain't saying you got to be with your Bible 24/7 and quote scriptures and know every scripture and find it. I ain't saying that. But I'm saying if you call yourself, if your mind has been renewed and your heart has been changed and you trying to do this thing for God, then there ought to be some places that we go should make us uncomfortable.
Right.
But some of us too comfortable because we think it's all right to post scriptures all 6 days. I mean, the post scriptures on Sunday and be turning up in the club every other day. You at happy hour, you at this, you at that. And you don't think folks saying, well, see, that's why I don't go to church. Because, see, you got to understand, the world does not understand balance. All they see is, oh, Jeff will be a preacher, but I saw him coming out the alphabet stuff. What's up with that? Because the world is not on the level that we are on. And so we don't understand our attitude and our values sometimes hinder people that will maybe come to the bottom of Christ, but if they say, listen, if I can still do that, what am I going to go for? In the comments, I'm almost done. Y'all got anything to say? I'm in y'all business. I'm in y'all business. I'm in y'all business. Just say I'm in y'all business. I'm just saying. Do y'all understand do y'all understand the words that come out of my mouth? Do y'all understand the words that come out? People will never be who you want them to be. An illusion. People have an illusion about relationships. And it's an illusion. Most women dream about a wedding. They dream about the type of man that they want. That's an illusion. Men do the same thing. Dream about the type of woman. Oh, you know, yeah, I ain't gonna have to worry about that. She gonna cook every day. That's an illusion.
It is.
That's a dream. Listen, Terry Saban don't cook every day. She ain't got to worry about, well, she don't cook at all. Well, I don't know what she do. She got to cook. But that's an illusion. And so what you think some things should be is not all the time, because what you're doing, your attitude is, okay, my mama was this way, and so my wife should be this way. Well, that ain't gonna, no, that ain't. That's an assumption. Ain't gonna, your wife ain't gonna do what you, well, yeah, you know.
That's another class. That's another class.
That's another class for today. All right, so we gotta change our thought. Now, how can we change it? Because I do want to tell you that it's quite hard to look in the mirror at yourself and understand that you cannot make people be who you want them to be. That's hard for us to do, because you look at our circle of friends, and you know, we want to be, some of us want to be so accepting, and so we'll devalue ourselves for the sake of a friendship.
Right.
I don't need a friend that can't tell me about my butt. And I ain't gonna get mad about it. I'm just gonna say, okay, well, yeah, okay, see that. We'll be mad a couple of days. I'll talk to you. But you need a friend like that. You don't need a friend that co-sign on everything you do. Because that means that friend has no value in your friendship. Because if you see me going down the road of destruction, I would pray that somebody say, now listen, you might need to come on back, but no, don't get me out there talking about, you know, he the preacher, the Lord gonna move on. No, if I'm going down the road of destruction, you gotta. So let's deal with, y'all don't want to deal with it. Y'all don't want to talk to me tonight. Y'all don't want to talk to me tonight. Let's talk about, we cannot make people be who we want them to be. That's the hard work. That's the harsh reality for us to understand. Because even though you want some people to be a certain way, they want you to be a certain way. And so if your ABAs are saying, you got attitude, you know, you don't value nothing, then you just assume that because your last husband was like this, then this current husband gonna be like this, and then you gonna give the current husband hell because of what the former husband did. I know I'm talking good. That's right. Let me come on down your road. Your man, your boo. Because here's the thing. I believe because we don't properly deal with relationships, not only male and female relationship, but even friendship. Here's the thing that we gotta do, that we got to start doing if we're gonna be better individuals, and first of all, you gotta learn how to be in interpersonal relationships. Don't listen. When somebody hurts you, tell them they hurt you. Don't be subliminal putting stuff on Facebook. Because that ain't doing what they doing. If the person hurt you, listen, son, you know, let me say, when you said this, that really hurt me. And I took it a certain way. But that ain't what we do. We'll go text somebody and tell somebody else and tell somebody else and try to get people on our side. Get people on our side because we feel like the more people we have on our side, the better our argument is. Can I tell you something? Sometimes a lot of folk co-sign on mess because they just messy. Okay, come on, Brian.
Okay, so you talking to me. You're not gonna play. So listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a text yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I'm serious. It was like from a friend.
Yeah.
Like, I've been knowing her for all my life, right?
Yeah.
So she texted me yesterday, and when she passed me on the road, and so then she texted me like a couple hours later, saying, "Well, I'm just trying to make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's. And if I've done anything to you, I need you to forgive me." Well, I'm just saying, like, you got my number. Why you gotta text me? We hadn't talked to each other since November of last year, and we really had stopped talking because I switched churches. So you really didn't have no conversation for me anyway. I was doing all the running and the calling. So I felt like then, you know, it was over with. Why? Yeah, I just woke up and said, why am I doing all the chasing and the running? So I just politely texted her back and I told her. I said you cross-stroke eyes, cross-stroke T's and dot your eyes when you stop calling me. And then she was like, well, you trying to get somebody to validate you. I don't need nobody to validate me, boo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so then she was like, well, I went through this and I know you've been going through this. But my thing is this right here. I'm not gonna chase after you.
Right.
You know, I come up down on your job, I call you, I text you, but you got my number. Why I got to do all this running? My Nikes ain't made for that. I'm not gonna run after you. I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? And I just believe God put the right people in my life because people will accept you for you.
Right.
And I don't have to. I can accept you for you. I can accept anybody for anybody. Right. But one thing I'm not going to do is if you put up a guard and say, I don't want to let you in, I'm going to back up until God open the door, open a situation or whatever. I'm not going to run after folks.
That's right.
I'm too old for that. I don't have time for that.
We ain't got time for that.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're talking.
But the reason that people respond like they respond is why we're talking about this tonight. If your mind has been renewed, some people, even though they 40-some years old, they still have a 15-year-old mind.
Wow.
That's just the truth. They ain't matured. They still thinking about their high school sweetheart and they got a husband and a bunch of children. Y'all know I'm right. They ain't got over that yet. They still can't believe he left them for whoever he left them for. They never dealt with that. But can I tell you something? People outgrow each other. Yeah.
You know, Miss Robert, I hear what you're saying. Even you're saying, did you tell her, I'm not going to run behind you?
Yes, I did.
That's what I'm saying. No,
yes, I did.
Yeah, you got it.
You know,
yes, I did. I kept 100 with her. I told her, whatever float your boat, whatever door you want to close, whatever float your boat, it's fine with me because I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I got people here. You know what I'm saying? I respect the relationship we had. But one thing, I'm too old. I'm 44 years old with 5 children, 10 sisters and brothers, and a mom. I don't have time for drama. And a full-time job. And a husband. I don't have time. So was I wrong?
There are some times when, say, God tells you that you need to be quiet. Maybe there's some times in a friendship where you need, like, because friendships, like relationships, are not equal.
No.
You want give and take, but it's not always equal.
No, it's not.
So maybe that's the time for you, like, maybe she's hurt. We left First Baptist. And maybe it's a time for you to just say that regardless of what church we go to, you and I can or will be friends.
I told her, I said, we on the same team, the same side. I said, we serving the same God. I said, I'm on the same winning side, supposed to be about soul. Why it's gotta, she just mad because I don't go to Greensboro anymore.
Okay.
That's what she upset about.
Yeah.
And she is the same one that told me since I left
Yeah.
that God was gonna take everything from us. We was gonna be cursed with a curse, and da 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 da. A preacher came down and said that we must come back to the church. She is the one. So no.
We ain't even deal with it. That's a whole nother. Let me say this to all of us. First of all, you do outgrow people.
Yeah.
Understand that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, here's the thing: when you outgrow people, are you willing to lose the relationship?
That's a good question.
Are you willing? Because here is the thing. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you. I'm in a warfare. I'm in a spiritual warfare because I know what God told me. I know what He showed me, and I know what I got to do. And so I'm like no holds barred at any cost. This thing that God has revealed to me and keep popping up in my spirit has and it will come to pass. All right? And it's simply because, watch this, that I ain't so religious no more. That I can't receive from anybody. Y'all catch that on your way home. You got to try the Spirit by the Spirit. I want to caution I want to caution all of you in this room. Be very careful when people come to you and say, God said. Or the Lord told me. Because when they say the Lord told me, it won't be something new, it'll be a confirmation. It's gonna be something already God already put in your spirit. He just, it ain't now, your husband on the way. You know your credit jacked up and you ain't ready and you still dealing with that. You know doggone well you ain't ready for no husband. The prophet told me a lie. Just like Bishop Brown said, we speak and preach to people emotions instead of preaching to their mind. And so what I'm trying to get y'all to see tonight is we got to, I can put something together and slay the house and have y'all falling out every Sunday. But at the end of the day, you still gonna go back home and you gonna have this problem that you must deal with. That people will not be who you want them to be. And you got to be all right with folk being who they are. And you got to be all right with their attitude. You got to be all right with their value. You got to be all right with their assumptions. In other words, what I'm trying to get you to say is, you got to come to a point in your life that you are all right with you. Because there's no way that you can be in relationship, friendship, marriage, or anything if you are not all right with yourself. And so if you second guessing yourself, if your attitude is predicated on how somebody else acts, then you need to really look at, do you really have your own brain? Because here's the thing, this is what we do. I see this every Sunday, I see this every week. It depends on if your little clique mad with somebody, whether you gonna speak or not.
Oh, Lord.
And I look at y'all, I'm like, dog, folk got that much control over folk? Because here's the thing, whether I'm going through, y'all don't know it. Because guess what? My relationship with God is bigger than what's going on with me. And so no, when stuff is going on, I don't do like y'all do. I don't stay away from the church. I run to the church. Because my relationship is greater than what I got going on. And if I get my relationship right with God and I get closer to God, then He gonna work everything out. Now the question is, are you willing to lose some stuff? Because for the cause of Christ, if you got folk in your life that don't understand, watch this, mind renewal. No, you are not the same person, Robert, you were 6 months ago. Why? Because God is renewing. He's restoring your mind. And no, you ain't there. Watch this. Anytime somebody will tell you some stuff out, oh, you're going to lose something if you don't come back to the church, that's a control tactic. You ain't going to lose. You leave here, you leave the church, you ain't going to be cursed with a curse. For what? Right. Now, if you don't leave right, you still ain't going to be cursed with no curse. But you're going to have to deal with some stuff. And so the problem is that people have issues with themselves. And they are trying to project stuff on other folk that they won't even do for themselves. How you going to fix somebody's life when your stuff tore up? And so what I'm trying to get us to see, there is no way that we can be in a relationship in here. There's no way you can be there's no way you can be in a relationship out there and expect it to be harmonious in here. If it's a one-sided relationship, as Shani said. What do you think a friend is? Because what you think a friend is and what your friend think a friend is can be totally different. But what we have done, we have placed our ABAs on people. Because how you look at friendship and how they look at friendship may be totally different. Some people look at friendship like this. You cloak for me. Don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Girl, I'm finna go, but don't tell him, you know that, if he calls you, I'm with you. Don't act like that. Y'all ain't that deep, y'all. Y'all ain't that deep. Don't act like that. Me and we say, well, y'all covering up. Bruh, I'm with you. All right, hit me up. I'm with you. Let me know when you get ready to go home so I can go toward that way. You gotta, watch it. You gotta have somebody in your life that will call your stuff out. You gotta have somebody. You gotta have that because it's too easy. It's too easy to get into. You can talk yourself into anything. And ain't nobody gonna know but you and your friend. So at what point, okay, you do it one time, you do it two times. So at what point do you sit your friend down or do you sit your cousin down or whoever the person is? At what point do you sit them down and say, hey, you know what? You ain't gonna be able to use me no more. Because I value our friendship enough. Matter of fact, I got some friends, they'll tell you quick. Don't call Jeff. Because he'll tell you quick. Nigga, I'm gonna tell you why. and here's my attitude about that. And maybe, I'm projecting this song. I am projecting this song. I'm like, man, if I can stay straight, you can stay straight. But then that may not be true because I don't know what his weakness is. All right. Y'all live crazy. What y'all gotta say? I've been doing all the talking. Everybody say, come on, y'all. I'm done. I'm kind of winging it because I'm through. It was good. What y'all gotta say? How y'all feel about that? Y'all gonna reevaluate yourself, or you gonna continue to try to fix other folks? What you gonna do?
That is the mirror.
Okay, all right, that's easy. I'm gonna look in the mirror. That sounds so nice. Okay. You brought it up. Okay, you brought it up. You gonna look in the mirror. So the question is, what you looking for? if you looking in the mirror, what are you looking for? What you looking for?
Well, first of all, you have to be, I mean, you gotta be honest though. You know, Pastor, you really gotta, like you were saying earlier, that very thing that you don't want to deal with, that's the thing that you have to deal with. Like, you know, if you're a hair raiser, deal with that hair raising. You know what I mean? And if you got a bad attitude, nasty, you know you nasty, deal with that. You got a lying spirit, deal with that. You know what I mean? I'm serious. I'm being honest. You got to, you know what, the only way, this, and I think this is how AAA get they people in there. The only way you are going.
You got the 12-step program work.
You got to be honest with self.
The reason that they introduce themselves, they say, "Hello, my name is Jeffrey Thompson, and I'm an alcoholic."
You got to be honest.
That's what they say. Because they have to call it out.
That's right.
And then they have, watch this, accountability. I said you need folks to check you. You need folks to check you. All persons are not for you. Just get over there. Everybody ain't for you. Watch this, and this gonna mess some y'all up. Even the folk that you've been down with folk like that, they may not be necessarily for you. They may like what you can do for them. But that don't mean they're for you. Come a little closer. Everybody that's kin to you, they ain't for you.
That's right.
But you got to deal with it. What that people will never be who we want them to be. Deal with that. That's a life-changing state. They ain't gonna never be. Nobody has the best mama. Nobody has the best husband. Nobody has the best wife. Nobody has the best children. Nobody has the best cousin, family, church, pastor. Nobody. And they will never, ever, 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 ever be what you want them to be. Get over that. And deal with what Paul said. Transform your mind. Why do people, and here, this kills me. Why do people say certain things about people that they know about gossip? You know why? Because that's their mindset. That's their mindset. The pastor can't talk to a female because, oh, he messing with her. They do too much. What? Yep. I ain't that dude. Now you may know some dudes like that, but I ain't that dude. Because guess what? I got more value for me. Because guess what? If I'm gonna mess up, when y'all see who I messed up with, y'all gonna be like, Charles Jr., you gonna be like, oh, she asked you for that one. You know, I understand. Hey, we're gonna have church meeting, we're gonna pray for him. But he done came up. Damn, we give me a white one.
Excuse me.
I'm just playing.
What you told me though? You told me you want me.
Oh no. We got to wrap up. Strike that from the wrap up. Strike that. All right. And so we gotta understand that we all don't have the same value, but I do think it's important for us to have people in our lives that will challenge us and not co-sign, but challenge us and to say, okay, all right, you're a friend, you got friends, you might let them get out there a little bit, but then, you get tired of, like, come on to the table. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, when you got a friend and when you call the person to the table, they may get mad. and they'll still talk to you. But when you just had a person that was with you for appearances and things of that nature, when you call them to the carpet, they'll quit talking to you. Because they don't have the same value of friendship people, right? So, you're gonna look in the mirror, as y'all said. Look in the mirror. So, what do you see in the mirror? What do you tell yourself? What conversation do you have with yourself about your own renewal of your own mind? What does that conversation look like? And then we'll go for 5 minutes. I'm gonna let the baby talk away. Y'all let me say that?
What was the question?
The question is, when you look in the mirror, what are you going to ask yourself? You guys know who you are?
We're who people say we are. You know, you grow up, you have, like you said, you have to have a mind to change who you are. You gotta want to change.
Right.
And sometimes we be in denial, you know.
So you got to tell yourself the truth.
Yeah, be truthful to yourself.
You have to.
So what does that look like? What do you say to yourself?
Who are you?
Self, huh? What do you say to yourself? What do you say to yourself? You ask yourself some questions. Okay, you're gonna tell the truth.
You gotta admit it.
Well, yeah, you gotta admit what's up. Yeah, that's right. Admit what? That's what are we admitting?
Most times when I'm doing that, I look at what are the things in my life that I have issues with. Because 9 times out of 10, if I have an issue with it, like let's say she would did something, I got an issue with what she did, and it's gonna be an issue with me.
Right.
So I have to turn back. Like if she, I don't know, if she chew a certain type of gum, I got an issue with that. That's I'm just saying, you know, just for example.
I know.
But that's an issue with me. It's not necessarily what she's doing.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
It's an issue with yourself.
But yeah, oftentimes the things that we react strongly to in other people is something that we ourselves are struggling with.
And basically, those are your core values that you've learned over years of association with people. So I guess you'd ask yourself, what are my real core values, and what are my boundaries and limitations to everybody that I deal with? Because you got them for everybody. Your kids, your mother, your
You said the word.
So,
what are my boundaries? How far am I willing to go? You gotta have some boundaries. The whole thing is, okay, go ahead. You gonna say something?
Pastor, going back to what you said before, even dealing with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you say all the time you can't trust yourself.
Can't trust.
You know what I'm saying? You go to the mirror. A lot of times you're not going to pick out your weaknesses. A lot of times it's not until you hear other people continue to pick out those things in you that are nasty attitude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you keep hearing different people say that, then something may click in you one day and say, you know what, I need to check myself. But if you've been doing this all the time, you feel like it's right. So until you get that from other people, you may never check yourself. You may never sit down and do that self-evaluation because you feel you're right.
And you do what people expect you to do sometimes.
It's all good.
But when you get in a place of desperation and you know that something, like if you, like, okay, like if you know in your marriage, you and your husband, y'all been fighting and you just can't put your hands on it, you know in a moment of desperation, you get to that place and you say, God, what is wrong? You know, not so much as what's wrong with him, but you really seriously, you have to get to that. You do. You have to get to that place.
That's an assumption.
What I said.
No, she's talking about somebody cheating.
Oh, but you know, when you get to a place where you gotta get fed up, I know my issue. I got a problem with anger.
Yeah.
And I'm serious. I'm being honest. And I go to God and I tell God all the time, Lord, fix me. I'm serious. Fix my mouth. Because I know when I talk, I know when I get angry and I say something, I know without shouting out, I can say something will cut your throat. I don't want to be like that. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm honest with God about it. I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to talk to people with some sense. But that's right. But you know what I'm saying? When you angry, you don't want people to push you there. And when you about to get there, you saying, okay, now I don't want to be like this. You see what? So I'm honest with God. I got an anger problem.
But see, you're there, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody's not at that point.
But you gotta get fed up. You gotta get sick and tired of you.
You do. Because if the same thing keep happening over and over again, it's really not them.
It's you.
You got it. You got to deal with you. You can acknowledge it all day. But what you gonna do about it? It's just like we need to lose some weight. We know that. But what is we doing? We ain't doing that. I had me a blueberry muffin this morning from where I had that from Starbucks. That little big coffee. Went back, got this 2 or 3 oatmeal cookies. Oatmeal raisin cookies. I know I said I need to do, but guess what? I said, well, I'll do it this week. I didn't acknowledge it. So acknowledging ain't worth nothing if you ain't willing to. And I will borrow this from Ayana. If you're not willing to do the work. And here's the thing. Let me tell you what Dr. Phil does. And when we done, you cut this off after this, David. Because I know Asia's about to pass out. Dr. Phil, watch what he does. Dr. Phil say, somebody say something and he'll say, how's that working for you? You know why he asked that question? Because he wants you to think about what you're doing. Because if what you're doing ain't working, you need to change it. If folks still walking away from you, if you still in mess, if you still doing this, you still doing that, you need to look at how is that working for you? How is that working for you? And like I said earlier, if you're insecure with yourself, then you always gonna think it's somebody else, and not you. Who hollered over that cheater? It ain't, huh? What you say?
I said I'm not insecure.
I ain't say you was insecure.
You probably, I said cheating.
How you know somebody cheating? What is cheating? What is your definition of cheating?
What you want me to say?
Hold on, what you said?
What is your definition of cheating?
I'm talking about before that. I'm gonna let y'all finish that. I got to go back to work.
What?
You said if you're insecure with yourself, then you're always gonna what?
I don't know. Say it again.
Okay.
Yeah. So what? Come on now. What you say? Say it again. What is your definition of cheating?
Well, you're not being faithful. If you
Faithful
come
to
home
what?
accusing me, if you come home with an attitude every day, I'm talking about no matter if I meet you with the door, hey baby, how you doing? There's some food on the stove. Don't be talking to me. You're doing all that extra stuff, and I know it's not me, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You cheating.
God bless God.
done.